here sleepy? Anyone here tired? It is a school night, and I respect it.
We took naps.
You took naps. Amazing. So we are already feeling engaged. We are feeling active. We are feeling excited for tonight's show. I love that. It's awesome. I, too, am excited for tonight's show. Is anyone here celebrating anything? A birthday? A birthday. Happy birthday. How old are you turning? Is it impolite? Is it at the age when it's impolite to ask now?
No. I turned 46 in January, but that's...
Oh, I see. Are you a Capricorn?
I am.
Woo! Everyone give it up for Capricorn. I, too, am a Capricorn, so that's why I'm so excited for you. I love birthdays. It's actually going to be my dad's birthday here pretty soon. I'm really excited for that. My dad is one of those guys who, you know that phrase, what do you get for the man who has everything? So instead of us getting him gifts, ever since I was a little kid, he has gotten us gifts. So like me, my siblings, my mom, which is so sweet, right? But it also means that I am able to evaluate how my father feels about me based on the caliber of the gift. I know not everyone's love language is gift giving, and how much money you get from someone really isn't an indication of how much they love you, unless you are my dad, in which case it absolutely is. Okay, so are any of y'all here siblings? Any of y'all got siblings? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. You've got them, but they're not here. Do you think you're your parents' favorite child? That answer tells me everything. Exactly, and that's fair. I thought for the longest time that I was my parents' favorite child. And I'll give you a couple of reasons why I thought this. I thought I was my parents' favorite child because outside of this, I have a really decent paying job with a 401k and health benefits. That's great. I thought that I was my parents' favorite child because I live around the corner from them. So I get to see them all the time. And I call them every day. That's like a parent's dream, right? I thought I was my parents' favorite child because I was never arrested for underage drinking. Or 3 weeks later, arrested for underage drinking again. But this past year at my father's birthday, I realized that perhaps I am not as secure in my favorite child spot as I thought that I was. For some context, I am the oldest of three. My younger brother, he's the middle child, but the only boy, so perks there. He works in commercial real estate sales, which means that he works 100% on commission. So if he doesn't sell an office or like a building, then he doesn't make any money. And so he doesn't make any money. And so this past year for my father's birthday, as a way of showing support of my brother's dream in selling empty Starbucks, I think, my father gave my brother a check for $1,000, which is pretty steep. But that means that that's gonna help you pay your rent. It's gonna help you, pay your grocery bill. It's gonna help financially support you while you pursue your dream, right? It's really nice and supportive. And for my father's birthday that same year, he gave me a pen. And I know what some of you are probably thinking, oh, Courtney, a pen, that's also symbolic. That means that he's gonna help you write your jokes so you can tell your stories, so you can pursue your dream of stand-up comedy. Okay, for sure, I get that. And it was, albeit a very nice pen. It was a Mont Blanc pen. Y'all know what yeah, it's a fancy schmancy pen, exactly. But what that tells me as a person who knows my father very well is that he saw into the future. When he is old and past, he anticipates that I will use that fancy schmancy pen to sign $1,000 checks for my brother. And when it was my birthday in January, I turned 26. And I don't know what was worse about that, the fact that I had to start paying for my own health insurance with those sweet, sweet benefits, or the fact that I aged out of the demographic to date Leonardo DiCaprio. But either way, being 26 makes me far too young to know how to sign a check. I do not know how to do that. Yeah, that is not information that I know. I do love my birthday though. I do the cursory cry on my birthday every year, but otherwise I love my birthday because I am a woo girl. I'm a woo girl deep down. Anybody else here a woo girl? There you go. That's how you know. And you can be a woo girl without being a girl. That's That's not goes without saying. Thank you. That is frankly probably our headliner. No, but I've always been a woo girl ever since childhood. Like, my mother took one look at me when I was growing up, and she knew I was a woo girl. And she told me, Courtney, if you ever want to get a husband, you need to learn about football.
Yes.
Okay. That is not my mother. But statistically, it could have been. She does come to a lot of these shows. Like I said, they support me. But so she told me, Courtney, if you ever want to get a husband, you need to learn about football. And so I took it upon myself to watch every single episode of Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team on country music television. Exactly. I knew that would resonate with this audience. And I learned a lot from watching all those episodes of Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders making the team on country music television. Most importantly, I learned that I love cheerleaders. And so maybe that's why I've never found a husband.
Yes.
But on the flip side, it is 2023, so maybe that could be something that my husband and I have in common. I love cheerleaders. Yeah, I gotta find a guy with bi-wife energy. That's what I'm looking for now. That wasn't what I was looking for last year, though. I was on the dating apps last year. Anybody else here on the dating apps? Unfortunately, very fair, very fair. You know how you like pitch yourself differently on different dating apps depending on the demographic? Say that 5 times fast. I was looking for a date to a party on a boat. That's what I was looking for last year. It was hot girl summer. I was like, I'm setting my sights on a party on a boat in the playpen. That's all I was looking for. And I pitched myself specifically for that. Like, I went on Tinder, and, it's really direct, because it's for hookups mostly. And I went on Bumble, and I was a bit, complimentary and flattering, because it's for simps. And when none of that worked, I went on Hinge, and I wrote, in the little section that says, what are you looking for? I said, looking for an FWB for 4th of July weekend. Friend with boat. Exactly. Turns out not everyone knows that that's what that stands for. Okay? So I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to pitch myself differently on a different dating site. I'm going to zhuzh up the ad copy. And so I went online and I wrote, woman seeking man with access to aquatic vehicle, available wee hours of the night, 4th of July weekend. Triflers need not apply. And I got some responses, don't get me wrong, but it turns out that they were a bit more date line than pickup line. One of us came back alive. Another fun fact about me, I'm Mexican. You probably couldn't tell that just by looking at me, and that's okay. I'll forgive you that. But the reason why I look like this is because my mother is so white. You guys did a really good job about being in unison. The earlier show did not, so I appreciate that. My mother is so white that when she had her 3 children, myself and my 2 siblings, she gave us all the same initials so she could, quote, get a good deal on monogramming.
Oh, no.
That's some white shit. That's some white bullshit.
That's the most Caucasian.
Of course, no one thought to tell her that you can save the most money on monogramming by not monogramming at all. But I grew up in Connecticut where there's plenty of white people. And so I, growing up, did not hear a lot of stuff about being Mexican. In fact, the only things that I heard about Mexico were from girls who would go there for middle school and high school spring break. And they would always say, Courtney, if you go to Mexico, be careful about drinking the water because of Montezuma's revenge. Y'all know what Montezuma's revenge is? Yes, a resounding groan. Montezuma's revenge is when they tell you not to drink the water because the bacteria could give you potential digestive issues. But it was always said to me from these girls who would then proceed to post pictures of themselves on Instagram, double fisting frozen margaritas, as if that ice is not also made of water. Which of course begs the question, is it the water that's the problem, or is it the fact that this is the first time you're eating seasoned food in your life, Karen? Because if we're being honest, there's really only one ice us Mexicans need to be concerned about. Well, now that I've had that dour note, are we ready for our next comedian?